George H.W. Bush being rescued by the USS Finback after being shot down over Chichijima Island on September 2, 1944. Florida, around 1903. There's Oliver W., the famous trotting ostrich from the Florida Ostrich Farm in Jacksonville. Harrison Ford, photographed by Dennis Stock in 1973. A Palestinian shepherd is pouring oil on a sheep's head. This was in Palestine during the early 20th century. Shepherds used to anoint their sheep's heads with oil to protect them from harmful insects. These insects would torment their ears and eyes, or even lay eggs in their nostrils. PC gaming in the 1990s. The Grand Hotel in Beira, Mozambique was built in the 1960s and was in operation through the 2000s. A woman is posting a letter in a postbox. She's surrounded by destroyed buildings and rubble, all caused by German air raids. This is in London, in the United Kingdom, in 1940. Alright, let's talk about women's hairstyles from a 1950s salon poster. In 1969, a bank teller robbed $215,000 and vanished, taking on the name Thomas Randall for 51 years. On his deathbed in 2021, he told his family who he really was. Young German Wehrmacht soldiers are photographed after being captured by the British Army's 11th Armoured Division during World War II. This is a Muslim woman from Hami, Xinjiang, China, from 1875. She's wearing her traditional clothes. Bubbles, Michael Jackson's former pet chimpanzee, was born in 1983 and is now 42 years old. He lived with Jackson during the 1980s and became a pop culture figure, often appearing alongside him at events and even on tour. There was an anti-abortion demonstration at Binnenhof, Netherlands, in 1974. The Fiat Topolino from 1936 was for Dutch Railways, the Netherlands, 1947. London zookeeper Sam Morton feeds giant panda Chi-Chi a chocolate bar. This happened in England in 1966. Two women from the Irish Republican Army are frisking a man against a wall. There's graffiti that says, "Brits out." This happened in Belfast in the 1970s. A couple sits on the roof of a futuristic seaplane, 1930. Visitors must not snore, 1926. At the 122 brothel in Paris, which was open from 1924 to 1946, you could book the Orient Express room. It had sound effects, a rocking floor, and a conductor who might barge in and join. Pete Tuck of the Meskwaki, 1898. a window cleaner in New York City during the 1950s. Frank Zane, 3 times Mr. Olympia, doing the vacuum pose, which was his signature. Other bodybuilders did it too, but not many could do it as deeply as he could in the late 1970s. Alfred Lowenstein, The Man Who Fell to Earth, 1928. Michelle Pfeiffer, then in 1980 and now in 2025. Nazi camp overseer Gerda Steinhoff, in the center middle, stifles a smile as she goes on trial for torturing and murdering prisoners in Poland, 1946. Salvador Dali, 1967. Soldiers of the Eight-Nation Alliance in 1900. From left to right, there's Great Britain, the USA, Australia, British India, Germany, France, Austria, Italy, and Japan. They're on the set of Star Wars from 1983. (1942) Palestinian and Austrian soldiers are playing snowball fights. There's a group of musicians on a rocky riverbank. They have a waterfall behind them. This all happened at the first Virginia Music Festival in 1931. Police officers calm a Beatles fan during a concert in New York City on August 23, 1966. Baptism of the Ku Klux Klan's youngest member, 1920s. Circus strongwoman Kate Brumbach, better known as the Great Sandwiener, who lived from 1884 to 1952, lifts her husband overhead. Madame Inès de Courcelles, one of the first female taxi drivers in Paris in 1908. Petit Pascal and Jean-Paul Belmondo, 1960. Gene Simmons, the Kiss frontman, with fans in the 1970s. There was damage to the escort carrier USS Sangamons, that's CVE-26, hangar deck after a kamikaze attack on May 4, 1945. Coney Island Beach, New York, 1940. A dinosaur's being delivered for display at the Boston Museum of Science in 1984. It's a French restaurant, 1907. Real Americans are displaying the Nazi flag after capturing it from Nazis in 1944. A soldier of the British Army is standing guard, and there are two beachgoers separated by a barbed wire fence on a beach in England in 1941 during the Second World War. Students on a Ferris wheel, 1986, Kyiv, Ukrainian SSR. Dolly Parton and Carl Dean, 1964. Jackie Kennedy, pregnant, is enjoying a cigarette in 1963. Robin Williams as a Denver Broncos cheerleader in 1979. Charlie Chaplin, 1918. Men Overboard, New York, 1917. The Landship, USS Recruit, a wooden destroyer set up in Union Square as a Navy recruiting station. Girls are showing off their swimsuits. Naples, Italy, 1948. Paul Newman served in the Pacific during World War II. Robert Oppenheimer and Albert Einstein, 1947. The Beatles are cooling off during a cover shoot for Life magazine in Miami, 1964. Gary Cooper is hugging his daughter Maria and his wife Veronica at a New Year's party. It's at Romanoff's in Beverly Hills, California in 1957. In 1961, a Disney animator is working on 101 Dalmatians. The Transworld Terminal at the JFK Airport in New York City, around 1956. This is a wanted poster for Jesse James from 1881. The reward is $150,000 in today's money. Natalie Wood in the 1950s. A Mohawk warrior attacks Canadian soldiers during the Oka Crisis. This happened from July to September 1990. The crisis started when the Canadian government approved the seizure of Mohawk land for a private golf course. There's a photo of a dog photobombing two ladies. It was taken in 1911 as the dog leaped to hug them. Courtney Cox in 1985. Gina Lola Brigida's wearing a knockout dress for her role in The Dolls from 1965. Elon Musk with his brother Kimball and sister Tosca in South Africa, 1989. Officer Snodgrass of the White House Police Force is holding a captured opossum that wandered onto White House grounds. This happened on May 6, 1929. This is about August von Mackensen, a German field marshal from the First World War. He was one of Germany's most important and capable military leaders. He remained a committed monarchist right up until his death in November 1945, at the age of 95. The Tuileries Garden, Paris, May 1923. An Arikara warrior named Bearbelly from North Dakota in 1908. So what kind of joke does the Queen even tell? Future Princess Diana was at a school taking care of 2 kids. This was in September of 1980. During the 1940s, Coco Chanel had an affair with a Nazi officer. She tried to take over her Jewish partner's perfume business, joined a Nazi mission called Westminster, and walked free after the war, likely because of Churchill. Mahatma Gandhi, a person with long hair and a beard, is wearing glasses. He's got a scarf around his neck and he's also wearing a vest. He's sitting in what looks like a chair. Somewhere in San Francisco around 1919, a woman is getting out of a Marmon limousine. Initially you might focus on the car, but then you notice the person walking by with an influenza face mask on. German Panzer operators building a KV-1 model. In 1959, George Barris builds the X-Pac 400 Aerocar. Same-sex marriage was performed in 1901. Marcela Gracia Ibeas and Elisa Sanchez Loriga were wed. Elisa disguised herself as a man, using the name Mario on the marriage certificate, without the authorities knowing. This happened in Galicia, Spain. There are 3 Somali men wearing traditional clothing in the early 1900s. This young surgeon is just asking for a malpractice suit, doctoring Dolly in 1900. Johnny Depp smiling in 1983. So we're talking about the first icebreaker. It was a steam-powered vessel built in 1864. It served the frozen waters of the Gulf of Finland, and the purpose was to break up ice so ships could travel. Before that, it was pretty difficult to get ships through the ice, and this was a big help. In 1992, 24-year-old Christopher McCandless was found by moose hunters inside Fairbanks Bus 142, the magic bus on Alaska's Stampede Trail. He had survived alone for 113 days on plants and small animals. When discovered, he weighed only 67 pounds. Theodore Roosevelt and John Muir are at Yosemite in 1903. Franklin Roosevelt is in a car taking a walk. Mark Twain at 15, 1850. The Chicago Blackhawks took on Sesame Street on this day in 1975. Mussolini being arrested, 1915. A child mill worker was maimed in an accident in 1912. This is a Yugoslav album cover from 1972. Alfred Hitchcock, 1920. Ainu girls began getting lip tattoos around age 7. They endured years of cut and soot ink, and there was no anesthesia. It was painful, repetitive, but expected before they got married. Japan banned it by 1871, and that nearly erased the rite. A dock stevedore at the New York Fulton Fish Market is holding a lobster and a giant lobster claw in 1943. Alright, we've got a demonstration of an armoured police motorcycle in the United States from 1928. So the first digital photo on the internet was in 1992. Natalie Wood is playing billiards with Tony Curtis in 1963. Vampira at Halloween, 1952. Lumberjills, also known as the Women's Timber Corps, are taking a well-earned break. It's 1943. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay on Mount Everest. They became the first to conquer the world's highest peak in 1953. Alright, so in 1881 they were building the Statue of Liberty in Paris. Here are excerpts from Red Karelia, a Finnish-language communist newspaper. It was run by Finnish communist exiles who fled into the Soviet Union after the Reds lost in the Finnish Civil War. Jewish men in Krakow are rounded up for forced work detail by members of the Waffen-SS, which is the Schutzstaffel. A German SS Unterscharführer, or junior squad leader, sadistically kicks a man climbing onto the back of the truck. Marilyn Monroe's getting her hair done with hairdresser Agnes Flanagan in 1962. Oxford, Cambridge and Key's students are playing football, dressed in the latest Victorian gentlemanly fashions. This happened on December 3rd, 1946. Transporting a boat, Netherlands, 1931. Ronald Reagan with Marilyn Monroe, Los Angeles, 1959. Disney World under construction. Two men are standing in front of a structure that is not yet finished. One is pointing. There are several pieces of equipment and construction materials visible. There's a large building or structure in the background as well. In the distance there is some sort of vehicle on the road. The sky is clear. A British soldier is observing Argentinian helmets. This happened after the Battle of Goose Green on the Falkland Islands, back in May of 1982. Paul McCartney is with his wife Linda and their dog Martha on their farm in Scotland in 1970. Future King George V of the United Kingdom is holding his eldest son, future King Edward VIII of the United Kingdom, in July 1894. A firework from Payne's Fireworks Factory in London, 1928. Do be frank and honest. Don't pretend to qualities you don't possess. Do be loyal. Don't be jealous. Do be patient and kind. Don't lose your temper. Do be clean and tidy. Don't be selfish. Do learn to manage your money. Don't be extravagant. Do remember your promises. Don't be untruthful. Do be thoughtful. Don't be rude. Do be unselfish. Don't be idle. Do be cheerful. Don't be sullen. A Navajo Indian is wearing a mask of Hashabad in 1905. Acrobat Norma Fox is doing the dangerous act Iron Jaw in 1956. It's from Kodachrome Slides. Wayne Gretzky is widely considered the greatest hockey player of all time. Instead of a Christmas tree, there's a cactus. This is Arizona in 1959. The Soviet Czechoslovakian moped Stella advertising from the 1980s. There's a Nazi guard, Jenny Wanda Bachmann. She's standing in front of a pile of shoes at the Stutthof concentration camp. Around 1905, there's a view inside Père Marquette Railroad parlour car number 25. Prohibition agents destroy a keg of beer. November 5th, 1949. During his London to Brighton cycling speed record attempt, Ken Joy receives his Biden, an aluminum can containing milk and sugar. Mexican revolutionary leaders Pancho Villa and Emiliano Zapata are sitting next to each other at Palacio Nacional in Mexico City, Mexico, on the 6th of December 1914. Villa is sitting in the presidential chair. James Collins Johnson, on the left, was born a slave in Maryland in 1816. In 1839 he escaped to Princeton, where he lived and worked for 63 years, even though his master found him, and a jury said the law required him to return. around 1890. Fairground date, Klamath Falls, Oregon, 1942. The control room of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, 1986.